Mic check 1 2 1 2. Hey everybody, it's your girl AP, the goddess AP the GOAT, also known as AP Luxury, and I'm here to do a reaction to what is a hot topic at the moment. Um, Miss Jada Pinkett Smith. I feel like she's doing what she needs to do in order to get attention because she's dropping a book. She has a book coming out called, I want to say it's called Worthy. She's creating a lot of controversy. Uh, she admitted that her and Will Smith have been separated now since 2016. Mind you, it's almost 2024. So 7 to 8 years, working on 8 years of separation. And this is after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on national TV on one of the biggest stages ever at the Oscars. Okay, so this has hit the news, and yeah, she's pretty controversial right now. Um, Separated for 7 years. I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. I don't understand why she's making a big deal out of being separated and not actually going through the divorce. I think the divorce rate is something like 70%. So 70% of marriages end in divorce. Um, she admitted in an interview that she was crying and upset walking down the aisle with Will Smith. Mind you, Will Smith is one of the biggest actors of our time. Started out in music. He made a huge name for himself. He came out, I want to say, late 80s, early 90s, more than likely late 80s. Um, he was the Fresh Prince. And, you know, there's that whole spiel of he got his own TV show. He went into acting. He said he kind of like fumbled the bag. He went through a lot of money. And, Will has his own story, but he is the man that he is today. And the only blemish that I can think of is when he got on stage at the Oscars and slapped Chris Rock. Now, she admitted that Chris Rock had asked her out on a date. And you know how guys are, like, they pretty slick with it when you turn him down. Like, he throwing shade at her. So I think he called her um, G.I. Jane because of her loss of hair. I think she has alopecia and she's very sensitive about that, obviously. And so Chris Rock made a joke about it. It wasn't funny. I don't like when men comment about women's hair. Because yeah, you don't know what someone is going through, so that's sensitive. But I feel like Jada's doing what needs to be done in order to bring attention to herself to sell books. Now, this is embarrassing for them as a couple because Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith was seen as like goals, couple goals for so long, but they aren't really, no one's perfect. Um, but for her to admit with how successful she is and how successful he is, that she didn't want to get married, like that's crazy. So they're both actors, so obviously they were acting on the red carpet. And I don't know. I just feel like the past couple of years, their relationship, because it came out like she was dating August Alsina, they were swingers. Their relationship has been put under a microscope, and they put on a front for the cameras, and that's a sad life to live. And with her being in her 50s now, I feel like you just got to be true to yourself. Like, the marriage isn't working. Why be married? And I'm sure they have not officially divorced due to a whole bunch of money. You know, you got to separate assets and all that. But I digress. We're going to get into this interview that everyone is talking about. And, I'm not going to say that I'm not surprised because, okay, at one point, I dated someone pretty famous. He's definitely well known. And people aren't who you think they are. I'll just say that. People aren't who you think they are. Everybody has flaws. Nobody is perfect. And these relationships that you guys call couple goals are not really goals. They sleep, eat, and have trauma. And celebrities are just that. They're famous, but they're not perfect. So I'm glad I went through what I went through because I actually fell in love with somebody famous. Oh, I would just say, well, no, he's considered a celebrity. And you know, there was drama involved. And I'm not gonna get into it, but there was drama involved. And everyone has flaws. I'll just say that. Everyone has flaws. So whenever you think, oh wow, this is my dream person, like I want to be with them forever, you may get the same issues, if not more, when dating someone, that's regular like me, regular like yourself. So never be envious of money, fame, fortune, because we're all human at the end of the day. We're all human. So let's get into this video.
In her hometown of Baltimore to talk about her candid new memoir, Worthy. She opened up about an issue that has been kept secret until now.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did she just say separated, but she said divorce? Hold on. Hold on one second. Okay, guys. Listen to what she said. She said it wasn't a divorce on paper, but it was a divorce. So she considers herself divorced. She does consider herself divorced. This is not a separation where they are trying to reconcile. And I feel like this is why she's speaking on it, because she's not trying to go back to Will Smith. Okay, listen to this.
Right.
But it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
But in public, the couple, who married in 1997, denied the gossip about their marriage. This interview on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen was taped a year after Will and Jada separated.
So how long have you guys been together?
23 years.
Wow. That's amazing. How do you keep it hot?
How do I keep it hot? Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm baffled, really.
Yeah, right.
Over the next several years, Jada and Will kept up the appearance of a committed married couple. They even faced a scandal when Jada had what she called an entanglement with a family friend. Neither let the public know they had already split.
So I guess my question is, I feel like you're a straight talker,
I am.
except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
So why do that? Like, what was the
Definitely not a straight talker if you've hidden the fact that you've been separated or quote unquote divorced for 7 years. You've been hiding this. Obviously, you feel some sort of shame. I mean, and I get it. The public is not entitled to know whether you are married, divorced, going through a separation. It's none of our business, but still, you're in the public eye. Like, why show up to the red carpet and put on a front, basically? I mean, we're too grown for this.
reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us
Yeah.
how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, And we hadn't figured that out.
During our walk in Baltimore, Jada reflected on their breakup.
Why did the relationship fracture?
Oh, why it fractured? That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
Oh.
Jada says
Big facts. Sometimes in relationships, you can be stuck in a fantasy of what you think someone should be doing, how you think they should be. I agree with that. The problem is it took 20 something years for you to figure out this is not your person. You spent your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, now you're in your 50s. That's a long time, man. That's time wasted. That's time wasted.
she considered a legal divorce, but could never go through with it.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
I have so many questions.
So do I.
I have so many
It
questions.
was the strangest kind of revelation.
I don't get it. Just get a divorce. I'm pretty sure there's perks to her being Will Smith's wife. I'm sure there are perks. But I mean, you've been in big movies. She's made a name for herself. She did the Nutty Professor. She did Set It Off. Menace to Society. She's been in, Girls Trip. I'm gonna say this. I was never a huge Jada Pinkett fan, but she was definitely one of the women in the 90s and 2000s that stood out. And I feel like her being married to Will Smith, not gonna lie, I feel like it put her on another level because she was with him when Will was doing these massive, and I mean massive movies, blockbuster movies, like every single summer he had a movie coming out, whether it was Bad Boys or Independence Day, Men in Black. I mean, Will Smith was that guy. He really and still is that guy. But I just cannot believe that they've been keeping it a secret and pretending to be happily married. Like that is weird. That is different. I say it's different. So Jada came out and admitted that Tupac had proposed to her. Tupac had proposed to her, but she claimed there was no chemistry and they were just friends. But she says, like, she still cries and she's still sad over this man. Let's just get into a short clip right here.
People, talk about my relationship with Pac and trying to figure that out, and that was a huge loss in my life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because he was one of those people that I expected to be here. And my upset is more anger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel that he left me. And I know that's not true. And it's a
Right.
very selfish way to think about it, but I really did believe that he was going to be here for the long run.
Right.
Okay, guys. In Tupac passed in 1996. That's 27 years ago. And this woman is still crying about him. You've been married to Will Smith. You are Mrs. Smith, but you're still crying over another man. And the reason why that is hard for me to understand is because you've built a whole life with another man. She's infatuated with him, and even though she's trying to downplay the fact that they, not weren't compatible, they weren't like they were just friends. You ever heard the term "you don't know what you got till it's gone"? Sometimes it hits you later. You be like, "Oh my goodness, I love them. Like I want to be with them." And I feel like she's been that way for a long time, and it's just weird that she's been married to Will Smith. Will Smith, he even admitted on the Breakfast Club that he always felt some type of way about Jada and Tupac being so close, even though, I think at the time of his passing, he was engaged to Quincy Jones' daughter. And Jada was either engaged or married to Will Smith. Either way, they were together. So it's just, I feel like she's stuck in the past and she can't heal. She cannot heal. And I get that. Because as women, we really love somebody. It's hard. We really want that person. We want to be with that person. She wants Tupac in her life. Maybe they wouldn't have gotten married, but she wishes that he was still in her life physically on this earth. Now, I'm just gonna play this scene for old time's sake. Like the reason why I attended the university that I attended is because of a different world. Jada Pinkett Smith, I feel like this was her, in my opinion, most prominent role was on Different World. I'm a huge fan of the TV show. And they shared so much in common. They were friends. You know, sometimes you just love to be around a person that you can be yourself with. Like it's like going back home. Like Tupac got her. Tupac was home for her. She could be herself with him. He knew her. He knew her before the fame, before the money. She knew him before the fame and the money. So, but a lot of women wanted Tupac. A lot of women still grieve over Tupac. Like Tupac was huge in the 90s. And he's a legend. He's legendary. So just for old time's sake, I'm gonna play this clip.
Piccolo. L to the J. What's happening, baby?
So in that episode, I don't know if people know, but so she was going with, her name was Lena James on the TV show, and her boyfriend was on the basketball team. His name was Dorian. And it's so crazy. Like he was like the clean cut guy. I'm like, let me find out Will Smith was Dorian. Like, let me find out. This is where art meets reality, you know? Even on the TV show, like Piccolo was the guy from back home, and he's a little rough around the edges, but she supposedly moved forward and she's at Hillman now. She's not in Baltimore anymore. She's at Hillman, and Hillman is like, you know, it's really, really clean cut, a little bougie, and you know, she leaves Piccolo in B more. Let me find out. This is where art meets.
Hop in and see what's up with my girl and whatnot.
And whatnot. It's been over a year.
So, Lena, this is the famous crew you've been talking about, huh?
Yeah, girl. So won't you introduce us? These are my homies from Baltimore. That's Terrell, Charmaine, and my boyfriend Dorian.
Something funny?
Oh, just the way she said my boyfriend and that Richie Cunningham sweater you sport. So funny.
Don't back down, homie. I got you back. And I guess you think you're fly looking like Santa's elf, right?
Yeah, all right. Your man got a little flavor, Lena. A little.
Speaking of flavor, I see something that looks kind of.
Okay, guys. Yeah, that's a classic episode. Tupac appeared on Different World. Jasmine Guy actually was really, really close to Tupac as well. I think she said that she went to go visit him when after he was shot. But yeah, man, very controversial. You know, the past couple of years, from Will and Jada being swingers to Will Smith slapping Chris Rock to now Jada dropping a book, which appears to be a tell-all. And yeah, man, it's crazy. Hollywood is crazy. But hey, follow your girl, AP the Goddess, on Instagram, Angela Cali 22. Support me, support my channel, Cash App, Angela Cali 22. I plan on dropping some fly music top of the year 2024. Support me, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what else you want me to talk about and discuss. All right. Peace.